As a traditional ruler, it's an enormous responsibility. We, as kings or as fawns, we protect, we maintain peace and order in our respective communities, or in my community. We are the custodians of tradition. We are the spiritual guardians of our community. And there's a lot more that we do to make sure that peace and order reigns in the community. Cameroon is a population of about 20 million inhabitants. It's a bilingual country, part English, part French. And
you come from the English?
Yeah, we come from the English-speaking part of Cameroon. So basically, those of us, the Funds Council here, we are, a formation of the Northwest, or of the English-speaking part of Cameroon. Though we also incorporate, our brothers, who are French-speaking, into the, organization.
They say for you to get into knowing people and their culture, you start by their food.
Start by their food.
Cameroon is a very blessed country. Forget about all the other things that we're suffering, economic problems and all the like. Very blessed country. When I was growing up, it was very difficult for us to know foods that were natural food. But if you go now, she talked about achu. Achu is from the Northwest. Okay. But if you go now, achu is a national staple. People from all over the country would like to eat achu.
And what is achu?
Achu is a sauce. Let her explain better.
Okay.
It's a mashed cocoyam.
Okay.
Cocoyams, you know what cocoyams?
Yes.
Colocasia, there are many different types. Okay. That has been mashed. And then you have the soup that is made out of palm oil, a little bit of limestone, and other nutritious soups.
Okay.
So when you blend this, it gives you a yellowish soup that is very delicious. So when you put, it's a whole, the presentation itself kind of represents our country, because you kind of have a round, you put the achu in a circle, and in the middle of the achu you pour the sauce, and that is what is very peculiar about achu. Very colorful. I believe that next time you come here, we're going to show you the picture.
Show me.
Yeah. We also have eru. Okay. Yes, that's from the south. Yeah. I think you can talk better on that. Because, so we cook the food, but the men they know how to appreciate it.
They know how to appreciate it.
Come on, well, men who can cook all of those food too. It's not only women. African men are not that chauvinistic as they think, really. Okay. I'm sure if you go to my friend's house there, he can be able to cook a few things for us to eat.
Oh, very good. I'm happy to hear that.
The issue about, he's a journalist who can explain, the issue about food in Cameroon is something that I appreciate very much. Because if you go, we have close to about 6 dishes that people, no matter your ethnicity, they can cook it in their home and they can eat it very much. You have ndole from the littoral part of the country. We talk about achu from the Northwest. There is eru that she mentioned from the Southwest, Manu. And there's also ekpang. And then we have nkui from the Western Province.
Okay.
So
this is all natural.
Yes, food is a unifying force in our culture, in our community. Okay. It unifies us very much. Besides the colonial language that we speak together, food is what brings us very much closer together. So it pleases me, the one big thing that we bring back that is with us very much is the culture that we left behind, and that culture is a drive that pushes us. It's a drive that pushes us, gives us a lot of resilience to face the challenges in this community. As much as our our laying of the foundation is a little bit very slow and shaky. I think we are making strides in a way that we would make the white man to appreciate our African culture in a more positive light.
Africa is the cradle of civilization, and we may be primitive in a sense, but we're primitive in the positive sense of originality. Everything is still very original. It's not yet been adulterated to the point. So we are very proud to be representatives from that continent, and we intend to continue to maintain those aspects that are worth maintaining, the purity of our culture, while opening up to other ideas and to other values, which we try to incorporate at our own rhythm. And to say that we're happy with the experience we're getting from here, and we're going to obviously translate that into action, and also to let our children, who obviously will be different from us as they grow out here, but it is important that they get to know and maintain exactly the values that we bring from Africa, because those are important values, and we need to impress those values on the world. The fact that we are out here in the United States doesn't make us Americans. We are Cameroonians, and Cameroon, having some 250 tribes, we think that each of these tribes contributes to the dynamism and to the culture and the values that make us Cameroonians. That's what we bring from the different areas where we come from.
We Africans usually came here for education and went back home to try to help in development, but the dynamics have changed. Right now we are coming to stay. We are calling America home, and it's really very pleasing. When I came here in 1982, it was very difficult for me to even go somewhere and eat African food. But I could eat African food almost on a daily basis now here.
In D.C.?
In D.C. Okay. And if you can imagine, I was just being told when we're sitting there of a Cameroonian who was appointed a minister in Canada, in the Canadian government. And then we are sitting in a country where a Kenyan, an African, darker than many of us here, came here to go to school and was able to make a child who is now the president of this country.
There are many things about Africa that people learn here through us. Like when we take our artifacts out to places, people learn about them. Some people are surprised to see that we have standard universities. I, for one, I never went to school here. I came and certified as a professional teacher and went straight to school, went straight teaching. We have doctors in our midst, we have accountants, we have nurses. You know, some people have a bleak image about Africa.
First of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity to be able to listen to us and help promote Africa. We would like, through this opportunity, to let people know that Africa is as important as many other cultures, and that we have a lot to offer to the rest of the world, and that Africa should be seen in a different angle than what it has been portrayed for so many years. And we would hope that you help us promote this aspect of Africa, and so that Africans also can come together and then do certain things like the one you just mentioned earlier, mass produce, because we're still at the stage where we don't produce that much, so that we can be able to do that and impact the world positively. So I would like to thank you for the opportunity.
It's my honor to acknowledge the presence of members of the Northwest Funds Council, an association of kings and notables from Cameroon. We have 3 sitting funds from the Northwest Province who are present, who are members of the association. Acknowledge them